All right.
Hey guys, good evening, good afternoon. I hope everyone's having a good day. Today I'm back here with Npower again. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. We have two special guests today, and we're going to talk about I guess veterans transitioning over to IT, because there's a lot of common misconception when it comes to having military veterans, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, what have you. We have a common issue where and I see this a lot in IT. I'm talking about the IT industry, just specifically IT industry. A lot of people that are veterans, they have a hard time trying to transfer over to IT because they think they don't have experience. It drives me crazy, because they literally think they have no experience. But you got to keep in mind that any experience you have, whether it's being in the Marine, being in the Army, any experience you have, you could pivot that over to IT. And that's why I brought these two gentlemen with me today, so then they could give their own intake and their own advice on what's important, what's valuable, and what can you bring to the table as far as being in IT. So I'll let one of you gentlemen hit it off, and let's go from there.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Kevin. It's so great to be back. For those just joining us, my name is Sergey. I'm the recruitment and admissions manager for Npower in New York. And we are a national nonprofit that provides free, I repeat that, free technical training, professional development, and job placement assistance in the tech industry. We help you get started. I'm also a Marine Corps veteran, and I also went through the program. So I'll be sharing a little bit about my story and be leaving you all with a tip from my own experience that I think will help a lot of veterans trying to get into the industry. And today I'm joined with a fellow colleague and also Marine Corps veteran, Gio. Gio, hand it over to you.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Giovanni Figueroa. I'm also a Marine Corps veteran. I am also an Npower alumni as well. I also went through the Tech Fundamentals program, and now I actually teach the A+ certification and the ITF certification as well. So I will also be leaving you all with some tips that have helped me throughout my journey in transitioning.
Awesome. Thank you both for your introduction. I appreciate it. So I actually want to talk about transitioning over to IT, because and I'm going specifically based on my experience, since I work a lot with veterans. If you guys don't know, I work with Peter Klein from Boots to Books. I work with Michael as well. If you guys don't know those people, then you're probably sleeping under a rock. But yeah, I'm friends with them. And the thing is, with veterans, it's very important to keep in mind that going into IT, that the soft skills, right? So at the end of the day, like, if you have the willingness to learn and you have passion for learning, and you have the determination, the drive to actually want to be there and do the job and get the job done. And I'm speaking on experience, because I know veterans, they get the job done. So if I was a job recruiter, I will definitely want to have a veteran, and definitely would love to have them on working for me, because I know if there's a mission, they literally get it done. That's just how it is. That's the reality of IT. So for anyone watching today, it's extremely important that you got to have the right personality, because a lot of these hiring managers, I did, if you guys don't know, I did 25 interviews with 25 different managers in 2022. And most of them, they all gave me the same answer. They all gave me the same answer, which is nothing to do with IT, to be honest with you. It's more about personality. At the end of the day, can I work with this person, or am I going to strangle this person? Like, can I work with this person 8 to 5? Like, that's what drives everyone nuts. Like, can I work with this person 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, or is this person going to be a jerk to me? And that's just the reality. If you're a veteran, you have amazing customer service, you have amazing soft skills, you could just bring that to the table. That's extremely important. It's vital. Like, that's important. And the other thing that's very important, is having the willingness to learn and being a team player, because a lot of people it goes back to soft skills again. You gotta know how to talk to other people. You gotta know how to break things down in a non-tech way. You also gotta have the willingness to learn, but also the right attitude as far as creating documentation and doing all that good stuff. So that's just my personal experience. And there's a way to showcase all this experience, but I cannot give you that answer because I'm not a veteran, which is why I brought them here. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that, but this was just my experience. So
Yeah, absolutely. And Kevin, always speak the truth, telling it how it is. We appreciate you for doing that. My story kind of follows a similar route where I got out of the military and I didn't really know what to do. And in many ways, I felt like I was starting from scratch. And it's a difficult reality for a lot of veterans when they get out, because they have went through all this training, they have had all these experiences, they've formed all these friendships, and then they get out and that just kind of slowly goes away, usually, you know, or and it just, and for a lot of civilian workplaces, for a lot of civilian situations, it's not even really validated or acknowledged. And you really do feel like you're starting from scratch sometimes, and it's tough. Like, that is tough. So, but I also agree with you that, you know, a lot of veterans fail to realize the value of their own experiences for what they can offer the workplace. And they also, a lot of times, don't realize or don't really know the best way to communicate that. You know, that's a skill in itself, is learning how to communicate what you bring to the workplace. And that's one of the things that Npower and the Tech Fundamentals program does really well, is help veterans communicate their experience and their skills. And, you know, for me personally, it was the soft skills. It was realizing that, having been a squad leader in the Marine Corps, you know, I have leadership, organization, project management skills. I know how to communicate. I can stand in front of a crowd and speak. You know, I can give directives and understand mission objectives and the like. And all of those things, when you really put them together, is actually an impressive skill set that, once I learned how to communicate that to employers, opened a lot of doors for me. So completely agree with you. And I'll let Gio, you know, talk about his experience on that front as well.
Thank you very much, Serge. And yeah, I absolutely second that motion of not realizing how many skills you truly do have getting out of the military. So my transition, actually, I was in the culinary uh, arts world. So I was a cook in the military, and getting out of the military, I already technically had transitional skills, which was being a cook. And then I tried going to college to get a degree um, in management for the kitchen, but that didn't really go as I wanted it to. I realized that college really wasn't for me. And I just pretty much just started working from restaurant to restaurant. I've worked anywhere from high class restaurants to mom and pop shops. And I love cooking, right? I love seeing people enjoy the food, but what I did not like was the toxic environment in the back of the kitchen that people don't normally see. So normally when I'm in a restaurant, I'm also, after I'm done eating, I always tell the chefs or the cooks in the back, hey, listen, good job. You guys did a great job. I love the food. It was on point, because it's a thankless job, right? Just like many other industries out there are very much thankless. Some people thrive off of good feedback, but I don't necessarily need that feedback. But it's nice to hear every once in a while, like, "Hey, good job," right? Even if it's with a broomstick, like at a distance, good job. Uh, and I realized that I can bring a lot more to the industry in terms of communication, being able to, like you said, Kevin and Serge, being able to get the mission done, right? Like staying hyper focused, like, okay, this is what needs to get done, being able to delegate what needs to get done and how to do it, with clear communication. I like to say, I approach every situation with a Barney style kind of approach, because not everybody's going to understand like the bigger words or the bigger picture. So might as well break it down from square one and then move your way up from there. So after I realized that the kitchen was no longer for me after the pandemic, I'm used to working like extra long hours, weird hours. In the Marine Corps, I would get up at 3 a.m. just to be in the kitchen by 3:30 to start cooking for all of the Marines at the chow hall at like 5 or 6 a.m. And then my day would not end until maybe 8 or 9 p.m. at night, and then have to go into the barracks and do whatever I needed to do there. Um, but what the Marine Corps did teach me is time management and communication. Communication is key. And I believe that as long as you have a clear objective, and someone who can explain that objective clearly, then there's no confusion along the line. So some things that helped me for sure was learning my value and learning what that value can give to a company. Well, and I also learned that if a company missed out on hiring me, right, they missed out on an opportunity, really, because I'm a great asset. As you can both tell, veterans, we do get the job done, and we have that mentality of, okay, we're all a team. So if one of us fails, we all fail, kind of thing. So we can't just, we're as strongest as our weakest link. So we gotta, prop each other up because we have all the same mission and we have to meet the same goals.
Yeah, and that's very, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate both of you guys. That's very important. Like, and I spoke with this about IT and soft skills, and I talk about this with Mike Miller, a big cybersecurity guy. He has like 60,000 followers on LinkedIn, and he's big on LinkedIn. And one of the things that we talk about is always soft skills. Like, you could have over 10 certifications, but if you don't know how to communicate, you're in trouble. No one's going to want to hire you at the end of the day. So you could have all these certifications, but if you don't know how to talk and, just be yourself and literally speak to a hiring manager, and I'm talking about communication skills, like specifically communication skills. And you guys have that, because people that are veterans, just veterans in general, they know how to communicate. They learn that, and they go through a lot of things, and a lot of it has to do with communication, project management, being a leader. That's one thing that bothers me, and then I know there's another YouTube channel that I'm friends with, that he says this is very important. He says my resume is my rank that I'm wearing, right? Because he's a veteran. So it's so hard for someone to have their rank on their chest, but then when they go and apply for an IT job, you can't really show that, right? You can't really put that on a resume. So it drives me crazy, because like, you guys got to give veterans a chance. Like, at the end of the day, like, give them a chance. Like, there's this constant gatekeeping that goes on behind the scenes, whether you're a veteran or not. There's a lot of gatekeeping going on, which is a little frustrating for me, and which is why I appreciate that you guys both are veterans, but not only that, you guys have Npower. Npower is trying to help people break into IT. So do you want to add anything to what I just said?
Yeah. Oh man, Kev, love talking to you, man. The things you say just fire me up, because absolutely, that's the truth. I do feel a lot of organizations can do better, can do much better with regards to hiring veterans. Now, I am going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate for this conversation, because veterans could do better too. And in talking about specific tips for veterans, one of the things that I can say, one of the things that I learned the hard way in my experience, is you can't expect everybody in the civilian world to know what you did in the military. And you can't expect them to understand that if you tell them like, oh yeah, I was a staff sergeant, that they're going to have any frame of reference for what that means and what that entails. And the biggest thing that I can tell veterans is like, look, it's going to be tough transitioning out, because you had a world of experience, great technical skills, a lot of leadership, all of these things. And unfortunately, it does kind of disappear a lot in many ways when you enter the civilian workplace, because you're going to be working with people that have no frame of reference. They don't know what you're talking about. They haven't went through these experiences. And as unfair as that may be, the solution forward is you have to communicate to them and help them understand what you mean when you say, I was a staff sergeant, or I was in this role, or I did this job. And really, Giovanni, to your point, kind of break it down for them and say like, look, these are the things I was responsible for. I was responsible for millions of dollars of gear, and equipment. And I made sure it was all functional. I prepared, I made sure that my subordinates were prepared for the task at hand. All these things, you have to really break it down and give it in detail. So Kevin, 100% agree with you that employers could do better, but I also believe veterans could do better. I think they, to put it bluntly, some veterans can lose the chip on their shoulder a little bit and understand that, yes, their service is very important and much appreciated, but not everybody's going to understand it. And they shouldn't expect them to if they don't communicate to them the value and the importance of what they did.
I completely second that motion too. It, veterans need to also realize that yes, it's scary to start over. Yes, it's difficult to try and get back into the swing of the civilian life, right? Because sometimes your job or MOS or rating is not transitional to what civilian jobs are looking for. But what they are looking for, like you said, Kevin, is those soft skills, right? So if you've got good soft skills, great communication, you've already got a starting point right there. And that should be your jump off point that you can at least be able to get your foot in the door. That's all you need. You don't need an entire leg. All you need is a foot in the door. And like you said as well, Kevin, earlier, uh, companies need to also be able to know, like, hey, stop being so gatekeepery, right? Just give them the chance and they will show you who they truly are.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both of you 100% again. And there's one thing that I wanted to say that there was and I'm gonna be devil's advocate as well a little bit, because it's just, unfortunately, that's just how I am a little bit. But it's very important
No, love
that when you're a veteran, it's very important, like, and I'm talking specifically about LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn. This is not anything else but LinkedIn. Like, LinkedIn is about finding a job, but it's not. And I don't want to sound mean or anything, but the thing is, LinkedIn is about finding a job. It's not about you begging that you're a veteran and I need you to hire me right now. So if you're a
Right.
veteran and you're applying for jobs right now, like, show them what you know versus begging for a job. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but like, I've seen people that are veterans that they post, why isn't no one hiring me? I'm a veteran. You should give me a chance. You should hire me because I'm a veteran. Like, of course, like, people will give you a chance, but there's a certain way of asking for it, right? So that's very important when it comes to being on LinkedIn and social media and asking for help and seeking out help, because the real world, I'm talking about specifically the real world, like, outside of a veteran or outside of IT, just life in general, the real world, people do not care. Like, people straight up do not care. I'm just being honest with you. So that's very important. Like, you got to keep that in mind in the back of your head. Like, some people just don't care at all. They don't care if you're a veteran or not. They literally don't care. So you got to showcase your skills, showcase who you are, showcase what you can do, and how can you make that person money, or be a valuable asset to the company. Those things are very important. And I'm speaking specifically about social media and LinkedIn, because you just can't beg. You cannot beg online. That doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So please take the time to actually, like, communicate well and showcase what you know and showcase what you can do. And that's why I talk about project work, and I talk about home labs. I talk about how to build work experience without having work experience. You literally create something to the cloud or GCP or Azure, and then add those things to the resume and add those things to LinkedIn, and then show that to the hiring manager. Whether you're a veteran or not, you have something you could show. So those things are very important. But like I said before, I urge you, do not beg on social media. That doesn't work that way. So I don't know if you guys want to add to that, but that's my thought process based on my experience. So.
Absolutely. And I echo that sentiment when I say that, I've seen that with my friends. I've seen that with my veteran friends. Sometimes they'll be like, I don't know why I'm a veteran. I don't know why they didn't hire me, or, why I wasn't the first pick. I was like, well, yes, it's amazing that you're a veteran, but to them, like, what does that mean? What do they know about that? You have all these ideas and experiences from your service, and you're kind of approaching this with the assumption that they are somehow going to have access to all of your experiences and will know exactly what you did just by you saying you're a veteran, or you're saying that you have this MOS or that MOS. That's not the case. You have to translate your skills. You have to showcase your skills. You have to talk about it. You have to promote yourself. And one of the biggest tips I can give to all the veterans listening is, just start with this. Start with responsibility. And what I mean by that is, what responsibilities did you have in the military? And see, if you can look over, like, if you worked with equipment, tons of equipment, just get an idea for how much that equipment costs. Just say, I managed, maintained, supervised, installed, and troubleshot equipment with like $1 million equipment. Most military service members probably worked with very expensive equipment. Start there. That shows you're responsible. that shows that you were held accountable for maintaining very expensive equipment. That's great on a resume. Starting there, what people management, right? If you're a veteran and you went up in rank and you got to a role of like squad leader or something along that line, guess what you're doing? You're managing people. Talk about that, right? And these ways of communication are things that we teach at Npower for how to translate that. But to your point, Kevin, you can't just show up and expect that people will know and will give you a job. That's not how it works. You have to get out there, you have to do the work, you have to showcase, you have to gain the skills, you have to present to people and let them know what you can do, what you've done before, and why you should be trusted and for the kind of positions you're going for. And for all those watching, if you're just seeing this video for the first time and you want the best tips on how to succeed in tech career, be sure to like this video and subscribe to Kevtech, because he has tons of great videos that will tell you everything you need to know about how to succeed in this industry.
I completely agree that in terms of being able to put yourself out there and knowing like what you're capable of, right? If you really want to get out of the rut of I'm not capable of this, I don't know it. I strive every day to try and learn something new that I didn't know the day before. So I am ruthlessly curious when it comes to trying to figure out how can I do this, or who can I collaborate with that might be able to point me to the right people, right? So in terms of looking out, like Serge said earlier, you gotta look out for people who are going to help you, whether that's in your circle or whether that's like a professional connection or even a friend of a friend, right? Like just start looking, start asking. A closed mouth does not get fed. So if you don't ask for help, nobody's a mind reader, right? So nobody's going to be able to know what you're thinking. So let people know, hey, I'm capable of doing this. Can you point me in the right direction? Or do you have any suggestions on how I can improve? Improvement, I think, will take you a long way if you look at the way you approach a situation. You should, as the military has taught all of us, being flexible is key. Or as some of us Marines know, hurry up and wait is a very frequent word that we use a lot, where we have to get up at maybe like 5 o'clock in the morning, wait 6 hours to do something later on that day. I mean, you're in the civilian world now, so you should be able to take that initiative, right? And put your best foot forward, let everybody else know, hey, yeah, I've done this. Like Serge said, I've been responsible for millions of dollars in taxpayer money equipment, right? Like that's taxpayer money that you are responsible for. So if you can show that you took care of the materials, you were able to get the mission done, right? You're already set. You've already got skills that can be translatable. But if you can't find those skills, right? If you're part of the VA system, I normally push aside the VA emails that I get, like the VA newsletters. But without that, I would have never found Npower. Normally, I push it aside, but something that day told me, check it out, see what they've got. And they always have new job opportunities. They even have people who can help you with either finances or writing a resume. Might as well take the chance on it, right? Because again, a closed mouth does not get fed.
I just want to jump in super quick and say, Gio, I love that point so much. And this is another big tip that I will echo and 100% agree with you, and will also really stress to veterans is don't be too proud to ask for help. Because there's a
Absolutely.
lot of like, for example, Npower, completely free organization that can get you started in the tech industry. But if you're, if you feel like you can't reach out or ask, or look for the answers and they should come to you, they're not, that's not going to happen. You have to build those networks, you have to build those connections, and you have to be willing to say, hey, you know what, I want to get started in this. Can you, just as you said, Gio, can you point me in the right direction? And then Gio will point to Kevtech, and then person will get a lot of good knowledge, find out about Npower, and everybody's happy, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and it's very important that you speak up. Like, and it said there's a quote I posted on Twitter. I don't know what exactly the quote that I posted, but I think I put I regret the opportunities I missed because I kept my mouth shut. So like it's very important that you speak up and say something because nobody knows what you want, nobody knows what you need. Like there's a lot of stuff like okay, I don't know even know if you need help or you don't need help. Like what do you need? Like we don't know. I can't read your mind. I wish I can, but I don't have those superpowers. But it's very important. It's very important that you speak up
Yeah.
and say something because like nobody knows what you need and who knows someone like I'm talking about LinkedIn again, like who knows like that one person that you talk to can change your whole life. You don't know.
Hmm.
That's very important. You don't know like that because it's happened a lot. I think that happened a lot online with people like, oh, I found Npower or oh, I found this person I'm talking to. I didn't know he was a veteran just like me. Like, oh, I didn't know there was free resources for this. So it's very important that you actually take the time to get to know people and build genuine connections. That's why I talk about LinkedIn and talk about building connections and getting to know people, finding these nonprofit organizations and things that are free because at the end of the day, like all three of us here, we don't want to pay anything, right? Like take advantage of the free resources. So definitely say that, go ahead and follow Npower. I appreciate what you guys are doing and that's something that it's very valuable for veterans and non-veterans. Just keep in mind that this is veterans and non-veterans. So you
Hmm.
guys could come and join Npower and learn. And it goes back to give 100%, you get 100%. So really, like you got to take it seriously with Npower. That's the other thing. Like I mean, we spoke about this. If you don't take it seriously, you're not going to be successful in Npower. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but it's very important. So
Uh, yeah, absolutely. Like you said earlier, you miss 100% of the shots you do not take. So not taking those shots is what is holding you back. Actually, the biggest factor that holds most of us back is ourselves because we're either too proud to ask for help or don't want to seem like it's a handout. It's not a handout. Like if you're going out and looking for this stuff, that's not a handout. You just doing exactly what you need to do to keep your money up or staying up to date with things that you might find interesting, right? Or a new career that may change your life. Like you said, Kevin, like the person that you may have in your own like circle may change your life forever.
And I want to add to that, definitely not a handout because we don't give out certifications here. We give you the
Agree.
opportunity to earn a certification for free,
Agree.
but you have to put in the time to study. You have to learn the material. You have to learn those fundamentals that Kevin stresses because that's what's going to help you succeed. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the work, but you have the opportunity to do that for free with our Tech Fundamentals program. So, and Kevin, I just want to say, really appreciate you taking the time to do this interview. Thanks for sharing us as a resource for your community, and just really appreciate all the great work that you do and the great content that you put out.
thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna wrap it up. So before I wrap it up, I want to say thank you for your service, both of you guys. That's one thing. The second thing is anyone watching today, please, por favor, please, like if you see a veteran and they're looking for a job and and please do not be a gatekeeper. Please give them a chance. If they're asking for a job, give them a chance. And I'm gonna let you guys close it out.
Absolutely. And like you said, Kevin, these opportunities come are these opportunities are out there for you, right? You just got to go looking for them and take that initiative, take that first step. Even if somebody else needs to be there with you, take somebody that you have confidence in, that you feel comfortable with. Take them with you to these events, right? It just to expose them. And in terms of Empower, I love Empower. The message that Empower gives, one thing that drew me to Empower was their mission statement states humility. That is one of the core values, right? And I have never seen another company put up humility as a core value where we learn from our mistakes and our successes. And that's how we should approach life.
I can't top that, Kev. I can't top that. That was perfect.
All right, guys.
But yeah,
I'll let you guys go. I don't know if you want to add something.
no, I was gonna say thank you so much for the opportunity. Your videos are amazing, and just your journey too as well on coming from the bottom, right, and making your way to the top, and still pushing, clawing your way up to the top. You ain't stopping. You've got an Energizer bunny in you that we all should also have.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I always stay humble no matter what. No matter how I always say, like, no matter how much you go to the top, you should always stay humble, because you don't know, one day you're going to be on the bottom. It happens to
Yep.
everyone. You're going to have your ups and downs in life. You got to have your ups and downs. And the most important thing is that in life you will be tested.